Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Scafidio, the editor of Prevue, and I'll be your moderator for the next hour. I'm thrilled to welcome our panel, Adam Milcharek, Senior Business Manager at Taiwan Look, Jason Ye, CEO, GIS Group, and Abby Chang, Marketing Manager, Taiwan Tourism Bureau from the San Francisco office. And Adam and Jason are up early this morning. They're coming to us directly from Taiwan. And many thanks to our sponsor, Taiwan Tourism Bureau. Today's session will be recorded and you will receive a link via email, so don't worry if you miss anything. And as with all of our Prevue webinars, you will receive CEUs from the Event Industry Council for your participation. Please use that Zoom chat. It keeps things lively. We want you to engage with each other as well as with the panel. And best of all, we have a $200 gift card that we will give out at the end of the event. You will have to be on to receive it. So please do stay on and I will announce the winner right at the end. And so now I'm going to turn it over to our truly awesome panelists. They've been a pleasure to work with, to say hello, and then we will do a poll to get a sense of who's in the room, and feel free to drop a note. Meanwhile, tell us where you're coming from. So let's start with you, Abby. Tell us a little about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I'm Abby on behalf of Taiwan Tourism Bureau, introduce you to the amazing surprises that Taiwan has in store for you today.
Terrific. Jason?
Hello, I'm Jason. Yeah, I'm from GIS. I'm a dreamer, I think. And some people say I'm a risk taker. I love to hike in the mountains. You know, in Taiwan, we have more than 269 mountains over 3,000 meters. I don't know how many feet. But there's 3,000 meters from the sea level. I did a 7 days hike last year. It's an unforgettable experience for me. I would like to someday invite you to join me to do a hiking in Taiwan.
Nice offer, everyone.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but you need to buy your ticket.
Adam, we'd love to hear about you too.
Hi, my name is Adam Milcharek from Taiwan Look. I'm a senior business development manager here, and I've been in Taiwan for many years, and I'll share that surprise with you a little bit later. I wish I had that much energy as Jason to venture for a 7-day hike in Taiwan. These mountains are very tall. We're talking about over 9,000 feet. So we're very excited to be here with all of you, and I hope you enjoy the webinar.
And just so you know, we've got people on the call from everywhere. And I do encourage you guys to get on the chat, because I sense this is a talkative bunch, but we're from Miami and Canada and New Jersey, sunny San Diego. That sounds really good to me right now. Kansas, all over the country. And we got a shout out for you, Jason, and somebody wants to do a hike already. So if we could do a poll of the audience, we have 2 polls just to get a little bit more about your experience with long haul meetings. So the first one is, have you planned long haul meetings or incentive programs in the past? Yes, no, or not applicable. If you could vote. And I'll give it one more second. Okay. So we have a heavily long haul meeting oriented group here. It looks like over 2/3. So good to know. And we have one more poll. Have you previously brought a group to Asia? Yes or no? And okay, so 68% say no. So there's a lot of opportunity to share and to learn on today's webinar. Good to know. It's always good to know who's attending. You know, to me, the best way to tell a story is through pictures. You can talk and talk, but pictures worth 1,000 words. So Abby's got a great video to kick us off. Tell us about Taiwan, if you could roll that. Beautiful.
I hope you all enjoyed the video and got a glimpse of Taiwan's beauty. Now I would like to share facts about Taiwan that surprise and impress you today. So let's start. The first thing I would like to share about the surprising fact about Taiwan is Taiwan is actually one of the most convenient countries in the world. You know, our slogan already tells you the answer. We are the heart of Asia with lots of direct flights to many international destinations. Taiwan is just very easy to accessible from all over the world. And there are also 63 countries, including the US. You can enter Taiwan visa-free for up to 90 days. And once you arrive, you'll find Taiwan has a top-notch infrastructure that makes getting around very easy. You can choose from the MRT, buses, trains, and high-speed rail train as well. And another surprising thing is we are the second highest concentration of the convenience store. There are over 11,000 convenience stores in Taiwan, so which means you can pretty much find everything you need within walking distance every time, anytime. And the second surprising fact about Taiwan is we are the third safest country in the world. With a low crime rate, travelers can enjoy peace of mind while exploring the cities in Taiwan, even at night. We are also known for our friendly locals who always welcome foreigners with open arms. As the world's best Muslim-friendly travel destinations, we offer a variety of options and experiences tailored to Muslim travelers. One of our cities even named the most welcoming city on earth this year. Surprising thing number 3 is we are actually the freest country in Asia. We are well known for our awesome freedom of speech and press, which is crucial to democracy. And when it comes to LGBT rights, Taiwan is one of the most progressive countries in Asia. We have the huge pride parades every year, and we are the first Asia country to legalize the same-sex marriage. And even Forbes thinks so, having called our Taiwan first female president, Tsai Ing-wen, one of the most powerful women and the second female politician in the world. Surprising number 4 is our tallest building, Taipei 101. Although it's not the tallest building anymore after Dubai, but we're still the world's tallest green building. So don't get confused about the green. It's not just because the color. It's called green because it's environmentally friendly and meets the US standards for labeling the building. And Taiwan is committed to environmental conservation and aims to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Surprising number 5. Did you know that we all rely on Taiwan for our digital devices? In fact, we are the world's top producer of the chips. There are 65 of semiconductors and 95 computer chips are made in Taiwan. So these chips are actually more traded than oil in the world. It's very interesting. So I think it's fair to say that Taiwan is pretty big deal when it comes to technology. Surprising number 6 is our natural scenery. Taiwan is truly a hidden gem, from the beautiful beaches and mountains to waterfalls or the hot springs. There's always something for everyone here. For example, in fact, Taiwan is the most mountainous island in the world. Here's some data here. Taiwan has 268 mountains above 3,000 meters. Hawaii only has 3, and the Japan has 19. So we have the highest mountain in east side, J Mountain, and the world's deepest marble gorge, Taroko Gorge. So I'm pretty sure you can really enjoy that hiking in Taiwan, just like Jason did. And also, Taiwan has one of the highest densities of hot springs in the world. There are over 100 hot springs scattered through the country, and some of them are even located in urban areas. CNN also named us one of the top cycling trips in the world. And of course, our crystal clear waters offer plenty of options for water activities. Surprising number 7 is our food. Did you know that boba tea was actually invented in Taiwan? It's now just a global phenomenon. And when it comes to tea, Taiwan also produces the best oolong tea in the world. The most prized varieties are grown at high altitude for a more concentrated flavor. And of course, you can talk about Taiwan without mentioning our vibrant night market culture. It's really a foodie's paradise with many, night markets spread out through the country. The largest one even have hundreds of the food stalls. Last but not least is our diverse culture. Did you know that small island country like us is home over 15,000 temples in Taiwan? It showcases the country's diverse religious and cultural traditions. And we are also a diverse country with various ethnic groups. The main majority is Han, Chinese, and Hakka people, but it's also there's indigenous population of 16 tribes. Each of them has their unique culture, traditions, and languages. And for the art lovers, Taiwan is the largest collection for the Chinese art in the world. The National Palace Museum in Taiwan houses over 700,000 artifacts and artworks. So I hope these 8 surprising facts about Taiwan have captured your attention and sparkled your curiosity. Thank you.
How interesting. It has created an initial impression, and what we'd like to do is we've got 2 real experts here who can share how all of this relates to groups. So we're going to have a little conversation, starting with you, Adam, if you want to share. I can only envision from the presentation, there are a lot of opportunities to do group activities that are unique to the destination. So why don't you share a few of those and get people thinking about their own groups?
I think what what is fun in Taiwan is the food, and especially heard just right now a lot about the bubble tea or tea in general in Taiwan. Indeed, Taiwan is extremely strong in that department, and right now tea, especially bubble tea, is popular all around the world. And we can actually have, for example, for our groups, we can provide a workshop in the original place where the actual bubble tea was first invented in Taichung. So our attendees can experience firsthand how to make bubble tea with the best oolong teas in the world. Put it all together. We can do a workshop. We can even do a laboratory of sorts then anywhere on the island at this point. So it's very flexible, I think, an interesting experience. But what I think is the single most thing interesting about Taiwan is its Aboriginal culture. Abby already mentioned that we are a very vibrant country culturally, and there is 16 tribes that every one of them has a distinct language, and they have been actually the source of the Austronesian culture all around the world. So actually, I don't know if you guys know that, but Hawaiian people can actually trace some of their ethnicity back to Taiwan. They can trace their genes back to Taiwan. So we have a connection with the States right now. But you can actually visit those tribes. You can go to Ilan, where we have one special tribe with refused to do the simple tourism way of just dressing up and then showing their culture. These people are actually living the way that the ancestor did, but without forgetting about the modernities and then air conditioning and everything. So you can see the village in the mountains that is something of a mix between the old and the new, which just gives you a different way of seeing like how we can do sustainable tourism, how we can do slow tourism, because you can only have 30 people visiting that village every single day. So not only it is as a very VIP experience, it's also very special, and it's something that I don't think any other destination does in the entire world. Jason, do you have any other additions to that?
Yeah, the other popular group activity you can do especially in Taipei City is you can do treasure hunt in the city and using our public transport like MRT, the subway system or underground system, and you can find some very authentic experience in Taiwan to find some to take some quiz or to do some activity. For example, we will ask the group to take a picture in front of European style historical building, which did not built by European. But actually all the European historical building in Taiwan now still exists in Taiwan, in Taipei City. They are built, all of them, they are built by Japanese, because Japan has been, they had ruled this island for 50 years from 1895 to 1945. And so all the European historical buildings were built by Japan. Or you can try how friendly we are, how friendly you are. So we asked the group to take pictures with a stranger on the street, and they will feel how to interact with a Taiwan local people and see how friendly they are in Taiwan.
Now that's fun. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure like in the US, there are some cities where people would just walk right by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even in Asia, that's one of the only countries that you can really do it. And then that Taiwan hospitality is especially, it's on a different level, I think, than everything else in the region. And then coming back to Jason said about the culture, I think this is a point that we need to also push, that it's not only Han Chinese, it's not only Aboriginal, it's only Japanese influences that are here. So that all together makes it such a unique mixture of cultures and then just colorful customs, and then the way that it actually affected to Taiwan, and then the mentality it's very, very unique within the region.
Right. I think it's very accessible to, to everyone. Open to everyone is the feeling I'm getting, accepting of everyone. Why don't you, so Jason, tell me a little bit about the kinds of US groups you've hosted or are planning to host.
And actually, we, in Taiwan, we have been host many American Association meeting World Congress here in Taiwan. For give you some example, like we have been host JC's Junior Chamber International for many, many times. We have been, the first one is back to 1972, and the second one is 1983. And then we hosted, I think, 2012, and we are going to host another one in 2025. And we also host like Rotary World Congress, and we are going to welcome Rotary International to Taiwan in, I think it's 2026. Actually, it should be happen in 2021, but because of the COVID, so they postponed the meeting until 2026. We also host the Lion Clubs in the past. And besides from that, we also host some scientific meeting like IEEE meeting, like their GlobalCom is a global communication society many times here in Taiwan. And we also host some American companies like Intel, Microsoft, IBM, or even some organization like CME, the Chicago Mercantile Mercantile Exchange, and the CBOT Chicago Board of Trade. They're meeting in Taiwan. So we have been host a lot of American events here in Taiwan in the past and in the coming future.
Interesting.
And just to support Jason on that, there's a lot of technology companies coming here, obviously, for chips and on the connections that we have with the high tech. But we also have a lot of groups that are interested in culture and arts. I think my favorite was one of the premier American Philharmonics. They had a group here with their sponsors. So you can think of it as a very special VIP incentive for those people. And then I was very proud of that, because we managed to show them really a part of Taiwan nobody would normally see, where we took them to the National Palace Museum, which has the highest, or like the largest collection of Chinese art in the world. It's the art collection is so big that they can only display, I think, only 2% of it on any given day, any given time. So you can come there every month or every half a year, and then you will not be able to see it over the next 10 years. So we managed to get a private tour of the museum with our own guides. We had the architect of Taipei 101 to give a prelection, and then to tell about the philosophy about designing these tall buildings, and how he managed to hide so many symbolic things in the architecture of the building. So there's a lot of interesting things and that you can do with the DMC here as well, that are not usually very obvious for people. So we invite you to also do a little bit of research with us if you'd like to, and then we can do something very interesting together.
Interesting. I do have a lot of comments and questions coming in, but I did want to, along the lines of being accessible, one of our January, one of our attendees said how much she liked how a lot of signage is in English. There's no language barrier. I think there's a comfort level to Taiwan that people might not realize exists. So you're definitely getting that message across. Tell us more. When we were having our initial conversations about the webinar, we spoke about Taiwanese hospitality. It's a certain brand of hospitality, if you will. Do either of you gentlemen want to kind of share what that actually means?
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
take that. Or Jason, would you like first?
yeah. Aiden, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah,
start.
I have a really good story for that.
Okay.
This is something that happened to me personally on my first time in Taiwan, and that was in 2010. So that's the surprise I got today. That I just realized that like my first initial venture to Taiwan that was supposed to be 6 months trip, like ended up being, I don't know, 12, 13 years later. I'm still here. So I think that's a good selling selling point for you right there. But the first time I was here, my friends, they're also Polish. They went to a restaurant, and all of us, we couldn't speak any Chinese. There was non knowledge whatsoever. And of course, back in the time, a lot of signage was still in Chinese. So my friends went to a restaurant. They were looking at the menu, and then they were very confused. And this guy comes out, and then he very simple English asked them like, what would you like to have? And they just say, I have no idea. So 5 minutes later he comes out, and he starts laying the dishes outside, like out for them. And then turns out that was the owner of the restaurant. And then he just said like, okay, now you will know. Next time you can come and then decide what would you like. So, and that was the first week of their trip to Taiwan. And I don't really think that you could really experience that anywhere else. Like people say there's no free lunch, but I think Taiwan is Taiwan is just proves otherwise.
Jason.
Yeah, I don't know why the hospitality become one of our DNA in life. I don't, because we are not overwhelming by tourists. Although we do have a lot of tourists now before the COVID, but I don't know, we are very welcome, foreigner to come to visit our home. Probably, all the Taiwanese, we are all immigrants. Like American, we are all immigrants to this island. So we want to treat people like we want to be treated. I don't know why, but when I ask many visitors come to Taiwan, and how do they feel and how do they think about the Taiwanese people, they think we are really friendly. So Barbara, you really need to come to really experience how friendly we are. Sometimes it's very hard to explain than to experience. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And I think I do think people are getting a flavor, but to actually travel there and see how it fits for your group would be very important. Do you folks exhibit at any of the industry shows? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we do attend IMAX.
Great IMAX. Okay.
In Vegas and Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you'll be in Frankfurt any minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So when Abby started, she did a great presentation about surprising facts, because again, as we saw with the poll, a lot of people don't have that real perception of Taiwan, and they're surprised by certain things. What would you say, Jason, start with you, or some of the biggest surprises, things people might not realize about
probably for American, when they arrive in Taiwan, they will feel we are quite Americanized. For example, give you some example. The most popular sports in Taiwan is basketball and baseball.
Oh.
Okay, it's but we don't play football. Okay.
Smart.
But the baseball and basketball is most popular sport we have. And of course you can see a lot of McDonald's. You can see a lot of American stuff here, and that's the one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the attendees like that. They wrote, "Wow." See,
Yeah.
surprise. Adam, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think I like stories to tell. Like I hope you don't mind, but like from my personal life, the first thing what I really liked about Taiwan that surprised me immensely was you know, people have a lot of preconceptions about Taiwan. Usually it's either, okay, that's where the chips are made, that's probably a big factory, or, oh, it's just China, it's just going to be all the same, and why should I go there? But actually, like, first of all, the food, the hospitality, that's absolutely stunning. But like, once you come into Taiwan, if you go from Taoyuan Airport to Taipei, you expect to have this concrete jungle, but you end up going right into the forest, into the mountains. This is the first thing that you see, because Taipei is in a basin. So once you get into that basin, suddenly you see this all beautiful city with tall buildings, and that's what I have in the back. This is the first thing that you will probably see on your way into Taipei, and that helps to realize how beautiful this island is. It's literally just mountains and forest outside of the big cities. So I think what you might find very exciting is just the easiness, how it easy is to see it all, because it's a relatively small island. It's really not a lot of places to get lost in, but it's just everywhere that you will go is just these kind of vistas and these kind of views, and I think that's amazing.
When you say small, can you give me a distance, and how do people get there? Do they take if they wanted to travel high-speed train or
Yeah, from the north to south is around 400 kilometers. I don't know how many miles, but from the east to west, it's only like 200 kilometers. So, and the size of the mount of Taiwan is very similar to Maryland state. So it's very small. And we have 23 million people in total, but 2/3 of our lands is mountains. So which means 23 million people, we live in the space like 1/3 of Maryland. Can you imagine that the density of the population?
Right.
Of population.
That's quite an image.
Yeah.
And so do groups base themselves in Taipei?
Yes, you can either do Taipei or Kaohsiung in the south, or Tainan, where the picture is that Jason has in the back of his screen. That's the old capital of Taiwan. That's where all the culture is. So it feels like it's like 400 kilometers, right, Jason? So that's let's say 300 miles, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm bad at that, but it takes only 90 minutes by high-speed rail to go from Taipei to Tainan. It's really easy to get around.
We are so jealous of your transportation systems because we just don't have them. I do have a comment from Christine saying that the Taipei airport is beautiful. Can we talk a little about airlift? We really didn't touch on airlift from a couple of the major gateways in the US. Who wants to help with that?
You mean the gateway? You can fly. I think before COVID, we I think from San Francisco, from Chicago, even from Toronto, New York, Los Angeles, I think is Vancouver. We all have the direct flights and daily flight. Even I think San Francisco, I think we have more than like five flights a day. I think it's a lot. Yeah.
There are over 130 flights weekly from the US to Taipei directly.
Yeah,
So
Chicago and Houston as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's surprising. Very convenient.
And many American they travel to Southeast Asia. They normally they fly to Taipei, and then they transfer to Manila, to Vietnam, to Kuala Lumpur, or even Singapore. Yeah, it's very easy to connect your flight to Southeast Asia.
Okay, interesting. I have so many questions. We've got a really engaged group. So I'm just going to start going through them, and if you just want to, let me know if you whoever you think would be the best person to answer. Seasonality, I've had a few questions about that. What is the best time to travel? And someone asked, is there a festival season and what is that?
Okay,
So
I
I
think
can take that.
okay, okay.
Jason.
Yeah,
Because
go ahead.
I'm all in all for the festivals.
Okay.
It's my topic. There's festival all the time in Taiwan.
Every season.
Literally
Festival
every
season.
season there's something happening. Yes, yeah. And actually you don't really have to go far to really experience the culture. We have that 15,000 temples all around Taiwan. So the main difference between the, let's say, the mainland Chinese world and ours is that the culture is very alive. So there's, if you go to a temple in the middle of Taipei, it's a big temple, you will always see people pray. You will always see people going through some rites or burning incense or whatever. It's a very living culture. So that's one thing. But my favorite festival is the firework festival in February. It's usually after the Chinese New Year. That's actually one time that you should probably avoid traveling to Taiwan, is during the Chinese New Year. But because it's the largest migration in the world right now. But a week later, we have a firework festival in near Tainan in the south, which has been voted many times one of the most exciting and most dangerous festivals in the world. And I encourage you to Google that, because the videos of it are absolutely amazing.
You say it once more for everybody.
Yeah, it's a firework festival in it's called Yanshui. But if you Google firework festival Taiwan, you will get the videos. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Can you imagine you just put yourself into a firework? There's 1,000 or millions of fireworks hitting you during the night, and it's. I was there once, but it's quite terrible. You need to wear your helmet. You need to protect yourself. Otherwise you will get hurt. Yeah.
So very authentic local experience, as we like.
Oh,
to
yes.
Weather. We haven't touched on climate by seasonality too. Is there a time of year that is your high season for tourism? And when do these groups tend to book, or is it year round?
I think the best weather we have is something from October to November and early December. I would put it this way. But it really depends on where you want to go to. Normally for the winter time, the down south in Tainan, Kaohsiung, the weather is so nice. You even can go to the beach and swim in the water. But in the Taipei North, although we are quite small, but the climate is very different. In the north, it's quite chilly or cold, during the winter time. And yeah, I would say, and the springtime is also very, very nice. Or winter time, you can enjoy the hot spring like Japanese. Yeah, so it depends on which kind of activity you want to do. But we do have typhoon. It depends on, we have the typhoon season like in July, August, maybe September, but it really depends on, on luck. So every time when we have typhoon, we always pray, please go to Japan or please go to Philippines, don't hit Taiwan.
You mentioned the hot springs. I have a kind of specific question. Can they be arranged or reserved in advance? And are there a limited number of guests?
You mean hot spring? Yeah. It depends. If you book a private one, so you can invite your friend, or if you want to take a hot spring with them. And there are also some public open space hot spring. It really depends on the place. Some normally they can accommodate like 20 or 10 people or even more. It depends on how big the pool is. Yeah.
So a group could experience the hot springs.
Yeah, but
For sure.
but normally we enjoy the hot spring naked. Yeah,
Oh,
just like Japan. Yeah.
we probably wouldn't do that. But
Yeah.
But it's
we do
totally
have
okay.
those that are
Yeah, I
not
think
naked. So
Americans are so
that's also possible.
conservative. Yeah.
what were you going to
Yeah.
say, Abby?
It's totally
Yeah.
okay if you want to wear a swimming suit, because I'm the one who is shy to be naked in the hot springs, but it's totally okay to do that. It's a little
Yeah,
bit different compared to Japan.
Okay.
yeah,
interesting.
we are brave to show our body to strangers.
But you'll talk to them on the street and take your picture with them.
Talk about hospitality. Hey.
So I have a question about accommodations. What is the authentic, different type of local accommodation or hotel when guests want a different style than, a typical hotel? Is there something typical to Taiwan that they can stay at? So do you have more authentic accommodations for groups?
For groups, I'm not sure, but for individual, we have a lot of Airbnb, and if outside of Taipei City, there are a lot of alternative you can choose, but you really need you need to check the comments, or you need a friend like me, the local people, to help you to find the really good homestay, especially in the East Coast of Taiwan. I mean, the Pacific side. We are the other side of the Pacific. We are the west side of the Pacific. There are many homestay in Thailand. Also, they have many nice homestay. You really can stay with the people and really talk to them, and enjoy the life with the local people. Have some authentic experience here in Taiwan. Yeah, but we also have a lot of international chain like Hyatt, like Hilton, like Intercontinental, like Marriott. So like Starwood, like W Hotel, we do have a lot of brands here in Taiwan. But if you want to experience the authentic, I would say, if you really can, if you go to the other city outside of Taipei City, there are a lot of opportunity. You can have a really good experience with them.
Another thing. Oh, go right ahead.
Just to add, there are options also for authentic hotels for groups. One of the landmarks of Taipei is the Grand Hotel, and that's one of the first, let's say, international standard hotel they opened in the last century. And then it's a very Chinese style, old Chinese palace style, and its rooms were recently renovated, so that's an option for you guys. And we do also have the Aboriginal style, let's call the village style cottages in the mountains, which are also available for groups. So yes, there are definitely some options for that.
Interesting. And for 5-star, for an incentive group, sounds like you're covered.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What about so corporate social responsibility activities where groups can get out and do something to benefit the community where they're visiting? Do you have any examples of things that groups have done who've come to Taiwan, some kind of activity that might be team building in nature but helps a charity or the environment, anything like that? Adam, you're nodding.
Yeah, because we do a lot of team building, so that's again, that's a good question. Yes, we have a lot of farms in Taiwan, so you can do farming in beautiful Yilan, which is famous for its rice fields. So you can do some farming activities there. You can do that in the mountains too. For something that is more accessible that everybody can do right away in Taipei, there's an association that helps single mothers to come back into the workplace, and they do it by sponsoring their night market stalls or just food stalls in general. So we can organize group school, directly help to work with those single mothers, and then spend a day, let's say, learning about their situation, and then helping them out to spice up their stall, just help them to sell their products. So it's a really nice experience. You can have both the night market experience and also really know how difficult that work is, right? And then learn more about the lives of the people who do it.
Really, really interesting. Do you have all of that information on the website, the tourism website, or how would people
Yes.
find out? You do have it there,
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
and I'm sure you have excellent DMCs.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are so experienced.
They're so experienced. A couple of we're really, the hour is flying. I would love to do a couple more questions, and then we have a wrap-up video. And I do have a winner, but I'm not going to announce them until the end. So I have a question about medical care. And is there an accessibility? So how is medical care in case of an illness, and is there accessibility for those who use motorized wheelchairs or have difficulty walking? Can anyone take that one?
And can the doctor communicate with you in English? So Adam, can you share your experience here in Taiwan? Did you ever go to a hospital in Taiwan? What was your experience, and how much money you pay?
I do a lot of adventure stuff, so yes, I've been a
Oh,
frequent client of Taiwanese healthcare. Yes, it's consistently being voted as one of the best healthcare systems in the world. It's extremely accessible. It's extremely cheap. A single visit can set you back like $10 maybe, or up to $50 without insurance. It's really for a simple visit. It's actually very affordable compared to the States. Even with something more serious, it is much less expensive than the European, even Europe. I think, like, not even the States. It's just generally very cheap system. And all of the most of the doctors, I would say, speak very good English. So there's no problem with communicating on your illness or anything that's happening.
And most important, what is the quality of the medical service you have in Taiwan hospitals?
Well, it's great. It's great. I never I never had to come back with the same thing, so that's good.
Fine. Yes, so world class. Yeah, not.
And compared with the United States, I think the cost for the medical service is, for us, is sky high. You know,
Very different. Someone just wrote $10 for everyone.
No, you know, for Taiwanese, it costs like $5 for a visit.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
that's without insurance.
Actually, there are many Taiwanese people, they immigrant to United States and become American citizen of United States, and they took flight, come back to Taiwan, and they have their medical healthcare medical treatment here in Taiwan. So it's still cheaper, and they stay in the hotels, and it's still cheaper if they want to receive the medical treatment in United States. So can you imagine, how cheap it is?
Yeah, medical tourism is really becoming a thing all over, because people are leaving here to go elsewhere for all of those.
Yeah, people are all concerned about this, and it's actually all the clinics are everywhere in Taiwan. It's really convenient as well.
Yeah. What about that accessibility, wheelchair, people having trouble walking? Are there accommodations for those types of attendees? Adam.
So most of the 5-star hotels have, I think it's the American with Disabilities Acts. That's the standard. So they have these standards of rooms. I would say we didn't really have a lot of groups that needed that at this point, but I know every single hotel that we asked has those rooms available. And most of the public transportation is already prepared for that, for people in wheelchairs, for example, or mobility vehicles. Mobility vehicles are also becoming popular in Taiwan right now. So I think we were quite prepared for that.
Actually, it was regulated by law by our government. So most of the building, include the public building and public transportation, they have they need to provide a kind of accessibility for those disabled people, to using the wheelchair, to using and even if you are in Taipei, the subway system that we call it MRT system, if you have some, the blind people, you always can see there's some people helping them to taking them into the cars in the carriage, and then taking them out when they walk out from the station they want to get off. Yeah, so it's quite nice service. Even for the high-speed railway train, you can see there's some stuff they're helping those people to travel. Yeah, so I would say it's quite advanced.
It sounds
here
very
in Taiwan.
absolutely. Yeah. I hate to ask the question, but is there anything as far as COVID restrictions that remain for entry to the country? I'm seeing
No.
that. Okay,
No, we're fully open right now.
Yeah.
We're all so happy to hear those words.
Yeah, sure. So welcome back to Taiwan.
Welcome back. So on that note, I'd love to see to show your final video for a really beautiful wrap up, and I'll be back on with the name of the winner of our $200 gift card.
Sure.
Wow, I think we made a lot of people hungry with that video. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I want to thank you all. I want to first announce LaToya Johnson. We will be in touch after this webinar.
Wow.
Because
Congratulations.
it's time for you to go on a shopping spree. I would love to. I truly enjoyed working with you. I'd love to send our best wishes to Abby and Adam and Jason, and hope that they will be working with some of you very soon to bring your groups to Taiwan. So thank you.
And
A
thank
very
you all.
informative, interesting, pleasant hour spent together. Have a
And you must come to Taiwan. Yeah.
Have a great
Thank you. We're waiting for everybody.
Yeah.
Hope to see you here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.